first thing we want to understand here is the difference between some words that definitely cause some people some confusion. The first one is what is radio? What is radiation? In this particular case, we're talking a certain type of radiation, nuclear radiation. Okay. Now you might just hear it abbreviated as just radiation, but there are other types of radiation which are not nuclear radiation. So, for example, just light. Light is a type of radiation. It's an electromagnetic wave. So light is light is electromagnetic radiation. And you can have some things that are both, in fact. For example, gamma radiation is nuclear radiation, but also it's electromagnetic radiation. What is nuclear radiation? It is radiation that, or forget about what radiation means for now, but basically it's radiation that is involved in a nuclear reaction. Now, this word nuclear means to do with the nucleus of an atom. So when I talk about nuclear physics, I'm talking about physics relating to the nucleus of an atom. So the whole of nuclear physics is all talking about what's going on inside the nucleus of an atom. Sometimes weird things go on, and that's kind of what nuclear physics is looking at. Nuclear radiation is something that radioactive substances can produce and give off, and that nuclear radiation can be harmful because it's ionizing. I'll go through these words in a few more details later on, but just let's get a gist. Now, ionizing means that it can make something into an ion. Okay, we've learned about ions in chemistry. So it can knock off electrons from something and turn something into an ion. That can be damaging because it could, for example, if it got into my DNA of some of my cells and turned some parts of that into an ion, it could cause it to react with something else and it would change my genetic code, could lead to cancer, and so on and so forth. The other expression which often gets confused within this is nuclear decay. Nuclear decay is the process itself. So when essentially with nuclear decay, you have an atom. For example, you might have carbon 14. Now we'll talk about what the 14 means later on, but let's just accept it as just something called carbon 14. It changes or decays into something called nitrogen 14. And when it does that, it gives off something called a beta particle. So this stuff here, this is the radioactive thing, the radioactive element, the radioactive or unstable substance that is decaying. So this is a radioactive atom. It just, when something's radioactive, it means it can decay, it can change, it will do something, it will undergo nuclear decay. And this is the radiation, okay? Now, the things that get confused often is this one and this one. The one on the left is the thing that could decay and produce radiation. The one on the right is just the thing that gets produced when it decays. So if I got a load of beta particles on me, well, that's going to be harmful. But they're going to do their thing and then they're going to disappear and no longer really be around. Carbon 14 will sit on me and then can carry on producing radiation as it goes. So this is an example of nuclear decay. And then you have something that is radioactive, and that means it can, if it is radioactive, like this carbon 14 thing, it means it will change, it can undergo nuclear decay. It means it can change into something else. Okay, that's what nuclear decay means. So the main two types, there are three types of radiation. We've got alpha, beta, and gamma. This one's beta, but there's also alpha and gamma. The types of decay are alpha and beta and gamma decay. So when there is alpha decay, then it produces an alpha particle. When there's beta decay, it produces a beta particle. When there's gamma decay, it produces a gamma ray. The other two are particles, whereas gamma is a wave. So next going to look at the differences between alpha and beta decay. Okay.